Shit. Yo, what it do? Welcome to the show. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. It's the Abby Award-winning Vital Show, aka The Show. The first Sunday in June. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited and I'm tired. I'm gonna just be real with you. Let me go ahead and kick this summertime beat off. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that was good. Just needed a little bit, just a tad.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to the show.
Could let that beat rise some more.
Let it ride. We're running back. Yeah, run it back. Why don't you? We can do that. So, y'all, tonight is the Magic City Check-In with Mayor Randall Woodfin. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
It's
Vital.
been a minute.
I know. My bad.
Been around here kicking it with everybody else. I was
My
starting
bad.
to feel away.
No, don't do that.
I said, hey, this the only show
Don't
like
do
this
that.
in the
It's-
whole
It's
world.
summertime. We're choosing peace.
Ooh,
We're
yeah,
choosing
we are.
peace.
You're right.
We're choosing peace.
Okay. That calm tone makes me just calm down. We're choosing peace. Okay.
I'm gonna meet you where you are.
Gotcha. Gotcha. 994-8949 is the number. 994-8949 is the number. DJ French Kiss, we might have to get you to run them blinds in another direction so we can get you some good lights. We're gonna tweak it. We're gonna see what's happening. Did everybody have a good week?
Yeah.
Everybody's like collectively like
Yeah.
Beautiful week.
Beautiful week. Awesome.
Beautiful week.
Any highlights? We won't go down the list tonight. We got a lot to get to.
I'll throw one out. My daughter's 10 months today, and it's just her milestones are amazing. We've been kicking it all day today. She's crawling now.
I was gonna say, what does 10 months look like?
10
I
months.
don't remember.
It's a lot of babbling.
Okay.
Saying da.
Yes.
She's pulling up on everything. She can feed herself.
Oh.
It's pretty cool. Smiling, laughing, silly, everything.
Feeding herself at 10 months? They do that now?
Yeah, I can give her a fry. She take it. She got it.
These new babies different.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that and hear that. You're enjoying all of fatherhood.
Fatherhood is it's literally the best thing ever. You know, I'm a late bloomer, but right on time.
Yeah, because if I could,
It's
I went.
We have more patience.
Who? Then when we were younger?
No, now.
Now,
Older.
really?
We
Yeah,
have
I got like super patience.
Yeah.
Really?
I mellowed out.
Huh.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. I don't know.
They will help you mellow out.
Okay. 10, like from 10 months to 17 to 18. Yeah, that's.
Come back and talk to me 17, 18.
Oh, I already told you.
It's
Just-
a
Yeah.
wonderful experience though at 18.
Okay, so 10 months and then 18.
It's still the same experience because I'm still mellowed out now, but he's 18 and
Okay.
he's graduated high school now, so it's the best of both worlds.
Did you cry?
You know, we talked about that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It was a big cry. It wasn't a little
Was it
cry.
ugly?
It was a huge cry.
It was real bad.
It was him coming off the floor, the graduation floor, and I got his graduation gown like so.
Oh, it was really dramatic.
It was very dramatic.
I should have been there to see.
Yeah.
Well,
Done.
great week. Happy birthday again to my dad. 73 years
Oh,
old.
that's great.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Dee Dee.
73. We kicked it all day yesterday, hosted a party for them. For him, I say for them, but for him. Because when you got a couple, you gotta act like it's the other birthday too. So did that. Then they came back over today, and I didn't know I was gonna end up cooking and stuff, but I had to do that. So I'm like, yep, it's gonna be a short night. We're gonna do this check-in, and I'm gonna go get in bed. Whew, Birmingham seems to be a decent place to live, right?
Birmingham is a decent place to live.
Look, Mary,
That's a fact.
first of all, it is.
Look,
Okay.
it's a fact.
Okay.
It's a
It's more than a decent place to live. It's
Yeah.
home. Like all of us are from Birmingham, right?
Right.
Okay. So we're all at home and are we sensitive about our city?
We should be. We
I
should
think
be.
towards outsiders we are.
Oh, okay. But at home, we just
We
like how
are
you do
very
your home. You get
territorial.
crazy at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Birmingham family oriented?
Sometimes. A lot of times it's not.
I think it
Depends
has-
on the topic.
Okay.
Depends on the topic.
All right.
I think I think the internet can make us lose our heads
Man,
sometimes,
what?
and we can miss the things that actually make us family. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. What are those things?
I
The
think
things that make
I
us
think
family.
I think the one collective thing that makes us family, believe it or not, is it's not a big difference from the side of town you're on. I mean, we love Birmingham. Now I know the West and East
I was
gonna
about
have
to
something to say.
Come on now. Come on, bro.
But if you got family from both sides of town and you
Yeah.
spend enough time east and west, it's not a major difference for real.
True.
It's not.
True.
Like if you grew up here
Yeah.
and you went to Big Mama house on one side of town, the cousins and the aunt house on another side of town, you spend summers here, you spend summers there. You kicked it on this street, that street, you kicked it in this housing
kinda know all the
project,
hood.
this housing project. It's not a lot of difference.
You know why he
It's
knows
not.
that? Because he walked all 99 neighborhoods.
Like I
so,
literally was
yeah,
out there walking in.
I did,
Listen.
but like my mom's one of 8, my dad's one of 6.
Okay, you got.
I literally
cousins
have
as well.
family who live Southtown, Kingston,
Mhm.
Brickyard, West End, North Birmingham. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Mason City.
So you got a chance to literally be in every hood in the city.
If you grow up here, you know like there's more in common. There's more in common. Just trust me. It's way more in
I
common.
go with that, and especially because of your position, I'm going to respect that from you. I grew up in Ansley, and I graduated from Huffman High School. My parents moved to Huffman in '96. We were the first Black family on the street. In Ansley, I lived on 12th Street, 44th Street. My grandparents lived on Oakland Avenue. My aunt lived down in Ansley on Avenue. I knew Ansley. That's what I knew. It was no place like Ansley to me. Then I got over to the east side. First of all, what is this? I don't like this. And it was like people that I wasn't used to seeing. That was my first time seeing white people.
I think we had a different experience
It was
in our
different.
youth.
Yeah.
But we were kind of outside though. We were in the streets.
were
That was the
outside.
time when we used to pass out flyers.
You know,
know,
every week. We
Every week,
tell
I'm
y'all
gonna
we
let
passed
people
out
know
flyers.
we need to get back to our roots and
Okay.
pass out these flyers. But we need the events to pass out flyers for.
Okay. So
Because-
Birmingham was social. So yeah, we're breaking the ice on what Birmingham is, what it was, and like how we see it. Because one thing you said, like about us being family, you are not lying. When I listen to the radio, to certain situations, when I watch certain news stories, when I look at social media and I see the differences of opinion about the city, it can be overwhelming a lot of times. And then it's like, well, what did you all experience that makes you feel this way about where you're from? Like one thing about it, when anybody asks me where I'm from, the first place I say is Birmingham. I don't say Alabama first. I say Birmingham.
Same.
The great
Yeah.
state, baby.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
you from? Birmingham. And then they say
Yeah.
Alabama. I say,
We just
Yeah.
happen to be in Alabama.
yeah, that one.
Not talking about England.
Yeah, that one. Right. So
Right.
that alone brings us to the table. It's not always about, well, they ain't doing this, you don't know this, they ain't that. It is about those core things that we all picked up just being from Birmingham, being in the city. We're some special people. So tonight's conversation is a check-in because we haven't talked to the mayor. I don't even know.
It's been a minute.
I don't know when the last time
It's
was.
been
So
too long.
we used to do this often. I'm gonna just be real. When I got to this station, like at our old station, I was the talk show. It was one show. Here we do kind of share that space. So they've heard from you, but they ain't heard from you the way we do it.
Yeah,
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I got some representatives on the live from the north side. Now that's one area I don't know a lot about.
I grew up. I spent the first 11 years of my life. I grew
In
up
North
in
Birmingham?
Yeah. I went to North Birmingham Elementary.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when did
Found Heights, Hooper
No.
City,
Evergreen
Evergreen
Bottom?
Bottom,
Yeah, no.
Vice Hill, Collegeville,
I talked to a little
Fairman.
dude. I talked to a little whoop
Hey,
around
man.
My
there.
son's folks is from over there. It's so different.
Yeah, they different.
The culture is different.
North.
Yeah.
That way.
No,
Were they on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
sure.
that's
West
what
Side.
ATO's.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. So look, you have an opportunity to get your questions in, to ask or to compliment, to say thank you, to, throw something out there if you want to. Tonight is tonight to do that. The check-ins really talk about what's happening in City Hall, what has been happening around the city, what initiatives we can look out for that are rolling out in the summertime, because the summer is here. And we know in the summertime, the city heats up. So let's start talking about crime and safety. Some major things have happened in the city of Birmingham over the past couple of months. as it relates to crime and safety and the wellness of the city as far as our police department and us feeling secure in the Magic City. Take it away.
Yeah, the best decision I could have made is appointing Michael Pickett first interim chief and then permanent chief.
Yeah.
I mean, period. Under his leadership. I mean, he's born and raised right here like us.
Yep.
Is in our generation, but has been a police officer 20 plus years, so understands the things of leadership within the police department. The bottom line is, I think the short way I can say this is homicides are down.
Mm-hmm.
Police recruitment is up.
Yeah.
That's the shortest way. If y'all can expound on that. We know 2024, we got our butts kicked. We're honest.
Mm-hmm.
Tough year. But today, year to date, what's today? June 1st? Homicides are down about 45%, which is really impressive. That's a kudos to BPD. And not just his leadership, but the investigators, the special set team.
Yeah.
Right? That's a special set team that's going out there. Bottom line is they putting the heat on the folk that need the heat. The ones that are out here want to drive around shooting out of their car into other homes, into other cars or public spaces. So all the shootings decrease, which has led to the homicides decreasing. For
sure. And you talk about being from Birmingham. So like that's one of the things that I think it added a negative perspective to you being from Birmingham when you talked about, oh, I'm scared of y'all, this is that. But then when you hear that a lot of this stuff was connected to like just a small group, almost one person.
About 1% of about 1% of the city's population.
It's less than 1%.
Like what?
It's less than 1%. So when we talk about when we talk about the city and the crime, and you say, well, it's so bad, you're talking about not even a percent.
Like a pinhead.
It's making everybody look bad, which is 99% of everybody in Birmingham is doing what they're supposed to do. Going to work, taking care of kids, and leveling up.
So then as soon as the, like you said, the detectives, the investigators all come together and like
it's
crack the code.
But it's really the community. I think that's the part that deserves the highest compliment. Citizens of Birmingham and all walks of life. BPD is present. They're sharing information with beat cops. They're sharing information with detectives. Biggest thing they're doing, they're blowing up Crime Stoppers.
Good. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm telling you, bottom line is this. For a city to thrive, for a city to get a hold of public safety, everyday people got to step up. So it can't be the police alone. So to see the citizens come forward, see community come forward, not be afraid to speak up when they see something wrong, see something illegal, calling it out, it's led to the most extreme issues of homicides. It's also led to small stuff like illegal dumping and littering.
Oh man.
And everything in between.
Let's go there. Okay. So you are now being recorded. So for all of those who may not know what we're talking about, there are certain spots in the city where like I need to get this out of my house, out of my yard, or I just finished cutting grass. I can go over here because it's a lot. You go to the lot. Now there's a camera on the pole that says this out loud. And some of these videos have made it to social media, of course. And one of them even said something about like the mayor in particular. Like it went at y'all. That was entertainment. But there is a need for that. Like it adds to the blight and the look of our neighborhood. So let's talk about it.
Look, our city struggles with pride. Pride is free. All right. It's like there's no cost to pride. I don't care if you're a homeowner. I don't care if you're a renter. I don't care what your zip code is, socioeconomic status. Large segments of Birmingham has been poor. That's not new. It's been poor since 1871. But our city hasn't always been filled with this amount of litter, this amount of illegal dumping. We talk about people coming from outside the city, coming in to Wildham, coming in to Airport Highlands area, coming in to Hooper City, but it'd be our own people sometimes. It'd be our own people. And the bottom line is the city gets the blame. We pick it up and then it puts right back down. So we had a simple notion. We're just going to start catching the people that's doing it and calling them out. That's it. Bottom line.
You are now being recorded.
Yeah.
You are now being recorded.
So we've leveled up on our real-time crime center, massive investments in technology, not just cameras, but a litany of other things that allow us to investigate crime better, to catch people in the act and they don't even know cameras are there. But we also are over communicating, telling people, yo, this technology exists. You may want to pipe down. You may want to chill. You may want to do nothing dumb, illegal, stupid. But people are people.
Yeah, we're gonna push it. So you talk about technology and the investment that's been made in technology. What in studio can you what other issue or concern may technology be used for? We got crime. We got illegal dumping. What else? What
So
you want to use a tag? You want that?
Well, stolen vehicles. So So the new chief created a stolen vehicle task force. Believe it or not, a lot of the crimes against persons are usually used in the commission of them. There's a stolen vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So what we found this huge correlation between discharging firearms, whether it's into another home or into another car or another home from a car, from stolen vehicles. So the license plate reader cameras are the most important thing you can have.
So Good job, Wendy. We're talking about the Chargers.
And all type of cars, bro. The top two cars are still the same. They still
they tried to steal a sunflower van.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't.
Yeah, the ones you can use the Charger, the car Charger.
Yep.
To steal them.
You're right.
So the Charger and the Hyundais are real easy.
And a Kia, yeah.
Go on YouTube and get your battery charger.
Yeah,
but they know. They told me
before the chief was the chief. He partnered with those companies so they can get those locks.
Yeah,
the crowbar
for Hyundai and Kia.
Yeah, the lock. Okay,
yep.
So
you can come into a precinct or police headquarters, give you one.
Cool.
That's good information.
Okay. Yeah. So that is some of the work that technology is going toward. Right now, I think about just general street corner cameras, like just on the block, right? When I walk around other cities, people always, when I go to other places, even at home, I'll walk. If you walk at home, folks think you're on drugs or something. No, I'm just walking where I'm going. I got two legs. I just want to walk. But in other cities, you walk around and you're walking around, like you're literally walking, and you can see the cameras. You feel that there's some surveillance. If somebody grabs me, somebody will see it. Wendy, you said we have that here?
We do have cameras on street corners, on light poles, and they've even put them on the freeways, on the interstate.
Okay.
So the incident that happened when people kept saying, hey, this is a false incident, there's a camera off that exit. I knew there was a camera off that exit because they put it there mainly for the SEC traffic in that area.
Okay.
But it's stuff that you just can't get away with. But when you don't know, you don't know. And you do dumb things and you blame it on other people.
And you get caught.
It's there. So be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, look, for the homicides that have occurred this year, BPD is doing something that they've probably never done before in the city's history. It's an 80% clearance rate. That means if there's 10 homicides, eight of them they found the person who did it, made an arrest.
Awesome.
How much of that can we contribute to the commission report from that team that brought that?
I think the commission report work is still being worked out. So shout out to the people that served on the commission. They made 82 recommendations. We've chopped wood about probably 39 of them. So we still have ways to go. I think on the investigative front, I give that 100% to Chief Pickett and his team. Before he became the actual interim chief, he actually spent time. He did the FBI Academy. The FBI is all about how do you investigate? How do you make your investigations more efficient? And then shout out to the deputy chief over the investigative bureau, who actually came from the feds. I think combined, what they've been able to do to solve homicides. So it was one thing to, how do you fight crime? How do you tackle crime? But the best thing you can do, get shooters and killers off the streets. Yeah. And that automatically sends a message. No different than when you drive through Vestavia or Mount Brook. What do? You you slow down. You slow down because in your head, somebody's told you, hey, you can get pulled over
in
here.
this area for sure.
We want the shooters on notice. You shoot in the city if you want, you will be arrested. I think that's the message that Chief Pickett has been sending.
That's good stuff.
All right, 994-8949 is the number. We got a comment or a question. How about the prostitution on First Avenue North?
Yeah, so the prostitution on First Avenue North, I want to say part of that East Lake initiative, we made significant arrests, not just with the prostitution, the day walkers, as we call them, and night walkers, but we made inroads with the Johns as well. We didn't want the sting.
Okay.
We didn't want the sting to be one way. We wanted to send notice to the Johns as well, that you will be arrested as well. I don't have the stats on me. If one of my team members listening, they'll text me the stats, but I know over 2024 in the first quarter of 2025, we gave that area some significant attention between the 60th and 80th block, First Avenue North, which is leaving Woodlawn going to the East Lake area before you cross over Port Madrid to Southeast Lake. I'm sorry, it's Northeast Lake.
Okay. All right. Question answered there. So that one slipped me. I was going to ask about homelessness.
You can ask anything you want
in the city. Yeah, I didn't think about the prostitution, but okay.
Well, I was thinking about the cameras as well. That could probably be used for that. You got another question?
Okay. Question is, why don't we have more cameras in the quote unquote hood?
You do. You just don't know where they all are, and we don't need to know where they all are. But I will tell you
Kristen,
this:
where they're at.
If anybody's paying attention to this city, we know one thing was consistent on all sides of town, and that was violence in public housing. If anybody paying attention in the last probably 4 or 5 years, it's not that way at all. Just think about that for a second. Do you really hear about crime in Gate City, Shep? Last 2 years, Kingston. Think about these places. So a couple things are going on. Some of these places have been revitalized, but all of them combined, I think there are probably has to be over 300 cameras just in public housing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
just in public housing.
I think that is.
I'm not including like outside of public housing.
Yeah,
that's a number I probably won't share on this show, but just know
they out there.
That in 2025 we're gonna actually continue to buy more. Now we'll never be London. London has a camera on every corner of the city. But when you think about Chicago and New York, those cities have really, really stepped their game up as far as the amount of technology and cameras.
That's why I bet that day walking. So if we can take on the pride piece, like I'm stuck on that. Pride is free, and just I like that. It is free. Like in a city like the Magic City, I take pride in the concept of the Magic City. There is magic happening in the Magic City. Let's talk about Birmingham Promise. School just ended.
I think if I am correct, on top of the existing 1,600 that have been able to take advantage of it, this current class. So let's just break down this class. I think a week and a half ago, right here. At the Crossplex, about 1,200 plus high school graduates finished Birmingham City Schools.
Woo-woo.
And I want to say at least 500 of them, 490 something to be exact, so far have applied for and or been accepted to state schools, 2 and 4 year colleges and universities, and their tuition to be free.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because your niece, your niece, niece graduates next year. Okay. Yeah. And she was talking about the Birmingham Promise. And I remember when it kicked out, right? I remember the rollout, but I don't remember the specifics.
Yeah, it's very easy. Since November 2019. So this November will be 6 years. But it's simple. If you live in the city limits of Birmingham, you finish Birmingham City Schools. Those are the only 2 requirements. Then you can attend any state college 2 or 4 year tuition free. There's no question about your GPA, SAT, or ACT score. If that institutional higher learning accepts you, we cover your tuition.
Wait a minute, now wait a
minute. The only thing it's a last dollar scholarship. That simply means no different. The state of Alabama already requires you to complete the FAFSA.
Right.
So let's say let's pick a school.
Let's go
Let's
to
call it
Come on,
Lady
Rams.
Wool University.
Yay.
Come on, Rams.
Lady Wool University is a state school in the state of Alabama,
Mhm.
4-year institution. Tuition is $10 a year. You complete the FAFSA and you qualify for $5. Then the Birmingham Promise pays the remaining $5.
Okay.
You complete the FAFSA and you qualify for $9.
Uh-huh.
The Birmingham Promise takes care of that dollar. You complete the FAFSA and you don't qualify for anything. The Birmingham Promise covers all 10 of the dollars.
Okay,
That's
I get
it.
it now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
So-
nothing else.
Okay.
That's it.
I don't have to pay it back.
Don't have to pay it back.
Okay.
And
It's great.
I love it now because
No catch here.
The team even has group me, right? So all of the information just
Yeah.
comes to your group me.
I want to encourage any parent,
Okay then.
any parent that has a child as a current junior,
A
rising
rising
senior
senior. Yes.
in Birmingham City Schools that's listening to this, go to birminghampromise.org. We created a city hall and then we were intentional. We kicked it outside of city hall. So now it has its own board, its own executive director, own 501c3 status, genuine public-private partnership. We've combined resources raised for it, probably over $30 million.
That's what's up. Why was that so
Yeah.
important to you?
Easy. I acknowledge one is that when I was on the school board, I started sitting on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first year shaking hands with, or high fiving or whatever with the graduates. That second year, here's what I remember. It ended up being a bottleneck on that stage. And I asked a young person, what are they doing next? And I remember them looking me in my eyes and just making up something just to please an adult they didn't even know. That young person walked off the stage, walked back in the audience with their classmates, turned their tassel, walked out of their doors. And I thought about that student all summer, like, what are they going
Like,
to do?
what's next? Yeah.
And that's what made me think about the Birmingham Promise. Part of it is it's several things. That coupled with a lot of our students are first generation college students. But for this program, they either wouldn't be able to afford to go or they wouldn't be able to afford to remain as they wanted to matriculate.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are other barriers that prevent them from going. It could be their GPA or their ACT score that finally got in, but maybe they have great work ethic, but not a good test taker. So I didn't want any barriers to affect them. The other thing, y'all, you got to think long-term play here. I want to stabilize Birmingham City Schools. I also want to fight generational poverty.
Okay.
This is literally, this is not charity. This is workforce development and an opportunity for a young person, for them, for their family. They don't have to, they can break the chains of poverty from their family.
I love that.
That's
Education
yeah.
does that.
And look, education is a genuine like platform to change your life. If a young person, I know our children, they have dreams, they have ambition, they have wants, they have desires. They don't always have the resources, they don't always have the guidance. Birmingham Promise is an opportunity to give a young person that Birmingham Promise is centered around two things: opportunity and exposure. Right? Provide an opportunity to expose young people. But if they can go to school, and they don't have to go to school, y'all. I believe in they can go to military.
Mm-hmm.
They can go straight into being an entrepreneur, or they can go straight into the workforce. I believe in career technical education. I believe that we need more welders and plumbers, electricians who make a boatload of money.
Mechanics, yeah,
HVAC. I mean, they make real money. You don't just have to be a plumber. You can have your own plumbing business.
For sure.
You don't have to be in HVAC. You can have your own company, right? So my encouragement to young people, the Birmingham Promise is a start, but it's not the end.
And the piece that I got tonight that I hadn't really thought about is that it buys back or it pays back into Birmingham. Like it's the
100%.
Birmingham Promise, Woo. So yeah, like it's promising Birmingham something. But what it's promising is solid, stable, educated people, citizens.
Do you want the next? Do we want to break the monotony of poverty for the next generation?
Absolutely.
The answer is yes. Birmingham Promise is literally a guidepost.
I love it. So when you think about the poverty in Birmingham and how to break that and how to put opportunities in, business ownership, small business, entrepreneurship, that's a thing. That's huge everywhere. In Birmingham, people feel that it's unfair a lot of time. They feel that, well, we don't really see a lot of us doing this or doing that or doing this or doing. We don't have this. We don't see that in Birmingham. Can we talk about small businesses and entrepreneurship and opportunity in Birmingham?
Yeah. So what we did at City Hall. Well, let me back out. I'm not talking about city. Let me talk about the entrepreneur spirit that exists in the city. And just shout out. Birmingham. If you are a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you got your legal hustle going on in the city, which I know a lot of y'all do. Kudos to you, because I know it's hard work to materialize that dream, to like take that ambition, that purpose, and make it tangible. So shout out to whoever you are that's listening to Vital for the hard work you're doing, to what you're doing for your business. That's one. Here's two. City Hall is a platform to assist. All right. Public tax dollars can only go so far in what we can and cannot do.
Okay.
But under the leadership of Cornell Wesley and his team, I'm thinking about Monique Shorts. I'm thinking about Coriate Hauser, and so many others, Sarah McMillan. They have created opportunities to support small businesses, to support entrepreneurs. It's in the form of forgivable loans. It's in the form of not forgivable loans, but low interest rates. It's in the form of the BOLD program, where it's direct money and you don't have to pay anything back. You simply have to apply and compete for those funds. Various other ways and things they do to support entrepreneurs and small business. We find a lot of time. At two groups. You got people who are existing entrepreneurs and small business owners who are looking for growth. City of Birmingham can definitely assist with that. And you got a group of folk who say, I want to start my business. There are multiple departments that can assist with that. But one of the things we try to do is manage expectations. You come to the city of Birmingham and you don't necessarily have a business plan, or you don't have capital. It's only so much the city can do for you. And what I mean by that is, you want to start a business, it costs $1. If you come to the city and say, I need $1, that's not going to go so well as far as like the expectation to give you 100% of that, because that's 100% of your cost. But if you come to the city, you got a capital stack, it's anywhere between 65 and 75 cents. City of Birmingham will do everything we can with that to get you over the finish line, whether it's a quarter from us or a partnership with the county or with the state or with anybody else to help you start up your business. The point I'm making is there is an A through Z process on the 4th floor of City Hall for existing entrepreneurs and wannabe entrepreneurs to start your business, to grow your business, to assist you in your business, to assist with capital, to assist with anything you're trying to do as it relates to how to support your business. The reason we do that is simple. We believe that it's mutual benefit. City of Birmingham, as it relates to public tax dollars, mainly come from sales taxes.
Okay.
That's from an entrepreneur or a business that right here in our city limits. We need each other.
So is there any kind of particular businesses that the city really looks to support, or is it just business period?
It depends.
Okay. I got a braid shop.
That's very narrow. Guys. That's very narrow.
Sorry.
That's very, very narrow.
Okay.
Look.
Sorry.
Again, I think let's say it's an existing braid shop.
Okay.
They have a brick and mortar. Well, they may need some facade improvement.
Okay.
So they can apply for a facade grant where it may not cost any money out of their pocket. They could probably be up to $75,000, $80,000 for the exterior of their building. So this is an example.
Okay. So you see how you did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me another business, because you're thinking about entrepreneurs and people that are like, I need the city. The city need to pay for this. What is that? A food truck? Are these not right?
So food trucks. What the city can do is, we can assist food trucks.
Okay.
There's so many food trucks in the city.
Then that's why I asked.
As in like a gazillion.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
And one of the things we do, how we help promote them, we have Food Truck Fridays on Short 20th. And that is literally like some intentional design, how the city of Birmingham supports small business. And what that does, how do we support it? Is it direct money? No. But you got a space and you got ready-made customers literally falling out of City Hall to come support your business for lunch.
Okay, then.
But they're not just coming out of City Hall. They're walking from the Sheraton, they're walking from the Museum of Art, they're coming from the library, they're coming from the school system, they're coming from the other building that's across from City Hall. They're coming from Jefferson County Courthouse and other buildings in walking distance. So I think sometimes, every support doesn't always have to be dollar.
True.
It can be placemaking as well. And how do we promote from a marketing or communication standpoint as well?
Okay. All right. That's 994-8949 is the number. If you want to call in, you have something you want to chat about. We are connecting and checking in with the mayor on the Magic City.
I want to go back to Pride. While your questions are coming in.
Okay.
Now stop. Any questions come in, just stop me.
Okay.
I promise. Like, you're not being rude.
Wendy, you ready now? Do you have a question?
I mean, no, I had a question. But I didn't have a question, but it was when he was talking about Birmingham Promise.
Oh, okay.
You
want to go back to that?
No, not really. But I did want to say that a lot of people are moving their children back to the inner city to take advantage. Parents that when their children apply for FAFSA, they know their kids aren't going to get any money because they are overqualified.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of parents are taking their kids out of Vestavia, Homewood, Hoover, and these other these other municipalities, and bringing their kids back to the city of Birmingham because they know it'll be beneficial, and it just pours more into the community. And it's a stimulus for growth, just for the city. Period.
Shout out to Dr. Mark Sullivan, superintendent of Birmingham City Schools. Shout out to his school board as well. Something happening this year that we don't talk enough about.
Okay.
Every year, the school system has lost students. This is the first year there was a gain in student population in the school system in probably well over a decade. That's a big deal.
It is big.
People always talk about the city's population. Well, let's be very, very, very clear why I'm so adamant about investing and supporting education. The city's growth is going to come from one or two areas.
Mm-hmm.
Job opportunity or education system. It ain't rocket science. Right. And that's bad English on purpose. It ain't rocket science. Okay. Mm-hmm. Support your school system, stabilize your school system. All of a sudden, at minimum, you don't have families leaving. Right. But what you ultimately want is Birmingham City Schools, K through 12, to be a choice.
For sure.
And what I mean by choice is I choose to live in the city. I choose to send my kids here. I don't have to leave. Right. These are good schools with good principals. My child's being educated. My child is being given opportunity. Schools are safe.
And the other part, I'm a good parent, so I'm going to make sure that I am
do
involved.
My part, right?
Right.
Like
that's the first part.
I'm not going to 100% put the expectation on the teacher to educate my child because that's not realistic. Oh, I said that out loud.
Yeah, discipline takes place in the home.
Loud. Yeah, because
real loud. You leaned in.
Discipline takes place in the home first.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
My mom and stepmom are retired educators. I think Birmingham City Schools, there just needs to be a balancing act as it relates to educating our kid. Mm-hmm. Teachers in Birmingham City School system are not 100% responsible for educating your child. As parents, we are too. And I totally look at it differently, particularly the last 10 months of what's my role and responsibility for the first 5 years of my child's life before they even enter kindergarten. Because that's on me. It's on my wife. It's on us as parents and adults before our child even enters the school system.
That's when I went to school or before I went to school, my mama was trying to teach me how to read or something. I was like, no, that's why I'm going to school. You're not going to teach me anything. That's what my teacher's supposed to. Girl, go. I said I did it.
And read Cat in the Hat.
And that's why
my teacher's going to teach me how to read Cat in the Hat.
And that's why Carmen is the way she is.
Birmingham Promise.
Are you gonna get off?
Birmingham Promise.
You're so crazy.
That right there.
You gonna get off Carmen.
Right.
Nisi Poo is good.
My teacher's gonna teach me that. Okay, then I'm gonna get the Birmingham Promise. What you got here?
No, I was just and I say this because I don't know if you brought this up, but what we did with literacy these last 2 years,
impressive, bro.
When they changed the game with the ACAP.
We had to change the game.
And I was just about to bring that up. So to get your mayor to go live and say, hey, I'm recruiting retired, hired, fired, whatever it is, but we got to go ahead and address this. So kudos to that.
Yeah.
As much as people want to give you the cement, we also have to give you your flowers.
Page
What's
pass.
And that was one of the things. That was one of the things. Yeah, cement. Because they be trying to stone
bricks.
it.
Yeah, bricks straight upside my head.
But
I
that
can
was
take
one of the
it.
things that really stood out to me as an educator in the city, teaching at where I teach, is that the literacy. That's why I didn't say it. See, that's why I didn't say it. But the numbers move as we make that magic. And so the first year we made magic. This year we blew magic up. And it was like you could see the numbers moving as we're following data and we're making the data boards. You can actually see the babies making the gains. Because truthfully, COVID was a really real thing towards reading and math.
Reading, math, policing,
And so
everything.
nursing,
life,
everything.
life.
We don't want to talk about it.
We're just now starting to kind of see weeds from all the
From
smoke
COVID,
and mirrors
for
from COVID.
sure.
And so
I want
kudos to whoever came up with that in your administration to do that.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I saw it, and I freaked out. I freaked out. This law came down, and when the law passed, that third graders would have to repeat the third grade.
Craziness.
When it passed, I think reading was like at a 52%. Can you imagine minimum half third graders having to repeat the third grade? That's not even enough classroom space. It's not enough third grade teachers. So that's a crisis to me. So I just want to shout out. Actually, man, I want to give a huge shout out to every third grade teacher.
Facts.
I want to give a shout out to every second and third grade parent, the principals of our elementary schools, community members who volunteered, participated in Page Pals, retired teachers like my mom who came out to help go into a third grade classroom, pull a child, do one-on-one reading to get them to the point where that one child, that classroom, and those third grade students in that school could pass. They went from a 50, I think 3% to an 82 that first year.
That's what's up.
That's a big deal.
That's magic.
So these young readers turn into adults.
That's a big deal.
Who read and who fuel the city. So we do have to put investments there and make those type changes. We have to get in front of the real issues. Speaking of those issues, when you talk about literacy and understanding what's in front of you, we were just talking about COVID, and we do know that COVID changed the whole world. Everything about the whole world changed due to COVID. And I know that in your, like in everything about the city, you are talking about getting back, like stabilizing the Magic City after COVID. There are several points in your agenda from since COVID about getting back to that Birmingham or to a better Birmingham post-COVID. So what are some of the initiatives that you are looking to roll out in the summer, like as it relates to COVID recovery?
Pools.
Yay. So we can go
pools.
get some self-care.
Pools are one. Yeah, so pools are one.
Milky Alpine is already it's open.
Yeah. So something happened, y'all, something's happened in America with pools, with public pools.
Okay, swim.
I think
They can't swim.
but I mean that's really it, right?
That's really
Why we can't swim no more?
You can't have the combination of people not being able to swim and people not having interest in being lifeguards. Combination of those two things is why pools aren't open.
That's why.
Right?
Not because the bottom of the pool ain't painted.
Yeah, man.
Like
Like
the pipe don't work.
it ain't rocket science.
Okay.
We two of the years post COVID. Now we've been out of COVID. We're going on 4, completely out.
Mm-hmm.
But that 21, 22, 23, we could not hire lifeguards. We could not hire lifeguards.
They still had PPP loans.
Bruh.
So
Bruh.
people didn't learn how to swim because of PPP loans. Now y'all tripping.
Bruh.
I'm just
I mean, I don't even.
running out and going to jail.
Oh, it's circling. But so seriously, like when you think about lifeguards are typically like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
The entire
maybe.
generation
right?
has no interest in being lifeguards.
Or swimming.
Or swimming.
Or skating or bowling. So the things that we ask for that would make us feel better post-COVID, I want to get out and do something with my crew. So we want to go bowl. They ain't trying to do that.
Well, so I think we need to talk about, we have to appreciate and respect each generation is different.
Yeah.
I think we are witnessing a generation that pre-COVID were already kind of like inside versus outside babies.
Mhm.
I think COVID took that to an extreme level
Mhm.
when schools closed and people were forced to lean in more on technology. I think post-COVID, um, as adults, we probably have to show more than tell, reorient our young kids for exposure to things we know are beneficial for them. Playing outside is one of them. So one of the things we want to do, and I need to talk to this council about this, so any of them listening don't beat me up. I have started having the conversation with the school system,
Mhm.
elementary schools, K through fifth, K through 8 schools, and 6 through 8 middle schools. We want to put outdoor basketball courts in all of them. We want
Okay.
our kids moving
Okay.
health wise. We want them also outside playing and having fun, teaching them resilience and teamwork and building trust. You get these things
From
actually when you play outside.
yes,
At the playground.
Yeah.
for real. Yeah, I remember like
ABC.
yes, it's
Right.
all
Yeah.
accurate. So we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We call our intern is 2 generations younger than us.
So she was that Alpha?
No, she just
Oh,
So
Buh.
swing the mic.
swinging the
When we
mic.
talk about interest, she's working with the Vital Youth Crew. That's what she's gonna do. And when you think, I was just telling her before you all came in this evening that I am youthful, but I am not the youth.
Oh, bro. I
We're
just
not the
turned
youth.
44. I'm
All right,
not
we're
young no
youthful,
more.
right? We still just have that. We still have that energy, but she is where where you want to be as far as relating to young people. So when I hear older people talking about, well, they need something to do. What is something to? And I know you're different from them, so we're not gonna put a lot of pressure on you. But what is some? What is that? What is something to do?
Maybe for that age group, although you did say that like kids don't know how to swim anymore. I know I learned how to swim at the Boys and Girls Club. So like youth enrichment groups are like spaces for them.
Okay.
I think they need more time like together
Yeah.
to do things that like kids are interested in. So I know although like we are super technology based these days, maybe you could find some ways to like incorporate technology outside for them to play maybe. Or
Smart.
at some point like put the phones down because I remember growing up like on Nickelodeon they would have days where it's like no shows on, go outside and play for 60 minutes.
Oh, Nickelodeon, girl.
Yes, I
Yes,
remember
no
that.
doubt.
So like they were trying to get us outside and enforce that more. But I do also think that like basketball courts, kickball, anything like that, because it's fun. Like once you put the phones down, get other kids that are interested in like actually going outside. I think that's where you could start to see like a difference in like how they interact with each other.
Oh, she's so
Okay.
smart.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Like yeah.
I heard with that
Did
fire.
her
Look,
job.
so one of the things she said, I'm connecting it to your question about the Crime Commission report. One of the recommendations was to like literally just redo and make more investments in youth sports.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
not just that's not just boys, that's girls as well. That's all
Mhm.
levels. So this proposed budget includes $500,000
Mhm.
to literally reinvigorate youth sports.
Mhm.
We're going to start with like the whole youth football league, which I think we all know is kind of like there's some things that can be smoother about it. How about that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And choose my words wisely around here. But there's a youth sports council that's being created that we will take recommendations from because we acknowledge we don't know all the answers. We don't have all the answers.
Okay.
We want the creativity. We want the ideas from this youth sports council that's recommend to us kind of what sports we should be supporting, how to spend these funds, et cetera.
Pickleball.
Mhm.
Okay. You like that?
I do. I think it'll help. I think for the most part, you have to also talk to kids.
I
Don't
believe
just
it.
assume you know them or like what they're interested in because like you mentioned, this new generation, they are like unlike anything that we've seen before. And we really won't know how to connect with them unless like we speak to them. So I think that's the notion for all of us to put the phones down and talk to people, get to know them, like even your family. Like,
Do you have a rule at your house during dinner? No phones
no.
at the dinner table?
I don't, but I mean, I'd prefer it to not be there just to connect. But I am close with my family, so I don't mind like if someone is on their phone because it's like if it's at dinner or not, like we're always talking to each other. Like even this afternoon, like we were all sitting downstairs watching Everybody Hates Chris. So thankfully, I'm like super family oriented and like my family loves to be around each other, but I know it doesn't look like that for everyone.
Right.
So I think people need to like put them down and like get to know who you're living with.
She just reminded me how excited I was a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat on the stage. I didn't stand up this time, but I still got a chance to look at every child in their eyes who walked across that stage. Birmingham's future is bright. I don't care who down on our city. I saw the future.
Okay.
I saw every graduate. They are optimistic, just like this young lady. They are hopeful, just like this young lady. Smart, just like this young lady. Our future is bright because her generation got it.
Okay.
Even if we don't understand it, we're good.
So they ain't gonna
'Cause I
just
saw it.
throw us away.
No.
Okay.
They're gonna make Birmingham better.
That's what's
I
up.
tell you that.
Okay. I believe that.
And like, there's just the thing that I'm hopeful about. The onus won't be only on the government, right? If anybody think the government alone can like make community better, that's
Mhm.
not the design here.
Mm-mm.
That's not democracy is a participatory sport. So city is made up of our city is made up of 23 communities. Those 23 communities are made up of 99 neighborhoods. Those
Mhm.
99 neighborhoods are made up of streets, and those streets are made up of blocks.
Mhm.
And in this one block, if neighbors don't talk to each other, if neighbors don't communicate with each other, if neighbors don't know each other, what you think gonna happen in that block when an issue goes down?
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna talk to the detective or the officer.
I don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
Like who
Right. I don't know who that. I see them.
if a senior elder move out and the kids fighting over the house, but at the same time not taking care of it,
Mm-hmm.
if the neighbors know each other, they don't have to wait 8 to 12 weeks for the city tax dollars to come on private property.
Yeah.
One time, the neighbor's gonna handle it, right? But if people handle stuff in that one block, it changes the street. And if you change that one street, you change the neighborhood. You change that neighborhood, you change the community. If you change the community, you change the city.
For sure.
Okay.
And that's the point. Like that generation, what I just described, I think they get it more than anything because the beauty of technology allows them to see multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
It allows them to see the good and the bad. And I think it allows them to see things beyond just what government can or can't do. They're going to be more civic minded probably than our generation. And they
So-
need to be.
Yeah, for sure. They're up against a lot. One of the comments came up, but then I was thinking about like somebody asked something up earlier too. Sister City still supporting youth services in the city, and I was going to ask, well, what is DYS doing? These are those Division of Youth Services things. Cedric Sparks was like King DYS. So my first job was with the police department at 14 through Fox 6 Kids and Jobs. What's happening there?
Well, shout out to Galvin Billups.
Galvin,
Galvin Billups leads DYS today. Kids and Jobs still going strong. I think they're supporting over a minimum 200 plus young people.
Okay, great.
But they got other programmatic things they do to assist children and families. And what I tell people, I wanted to expand that when I became mayor. So I took them from a division to a department. And what that allowed is like more intentional investments and focus. So Galvin is leading an assortment of things. When I come on your show, any show, and I talk about the things we're doing to support our young people,
Mhm.
and mental health and conflict resolution and financial literacy, and all the other things we're doing to support our youth, the wraparound piece beyond the academics and the core curriculum.
Yes.
DYS is leading those efforts.
Awesome. Okay. So DYS is taking more of a foundational role as opposed to just, hey, we're just going to do some jobs. We're going to get in there and do some.
And, and it's through partnerships, right? One of the biggest partnerships DYS can lead in an effort is early childhood piece. So we work with Galvin works with Woodfin Moss, who leads an organization called Small Magic, formerly known as Birmingham Talks. Y'all, we cannot ignore birth to 5. You can't. You don't engage our youth when they start going to school or in the summer.
Yeah.
Right. So what I love about what they're also doing is engaging families, caretakers, and that space of birth to 5, I think that's the foundation. That's a fundamental game changer. You get that right, all of a sudden your school system changes at a warp speed, right? Can you imagine a kindergarten teacher or a third grade teacher when children enter their grade at minimum grade level or above? That's what you want.
That is what
You don't want the majority of the children in that class not at grade level and under.
Facts.
So
Okay.
that's a lot of words to simply say DYS is actually doing very impressive work.
That's what's up. Shouts out to DYS,
Yeah.
Gavin Phillips. So therefore, Miss Sandy and Regina, your questions hopefully are answered with that about the young people and just the part that we play in the community, making sure that we are not afraid of them and that we keep them engaged, and that we kind of pay attention to our roles in that. Like, what is the interaction like when you are with young people? They think I'm their homegirl, so it's always cool with us. What's up, Pat?
I want to also, because again, as much cement as you take, and want to make sure you leave here with some roses.
Yes, sir.
The very first year this program was rolled out, I was the liaison for Ramsey, and that is the Common Grounds.
Oh yeah.
And I just want the listeners to know and give you the opportunity to expound on it. But I saw firsthand in year 2, 3, the transition that program was able to help make, not only with mental health, but the conflict resolution. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Expound in 2
Yeah.
seconds. 2 seconds. We're gonna go to the top of the hour. Y'all just hold on. Just hold on. I ain't gonna even turn the mic off. Just hold on.
Hot mics.
Hot mic. I ain't gonna turn it off.
We ain't gonna do the next side.
We need to go to the bond market. COVID. We wanted to go to the bond market in 22. We need to borrow about $100 million.
Might as well turn my
We need to borrow about $100 million for parks, libraries, rec centers.
Yes, you're enjoying the show. Hour number 2 right here on V94.9 WATV. The quarterly check-in with Mayor Randall Woodfin in the building. This is not a campaign show. This is a what's happening right now. We are a very mindful platform, so we talk about what's right in our faces. And we have leadership that is active all the time. Like right now, we have a mayor right now. So he's in here with us tonight. And we're checking in. I'm sorry. We're checking in, you guys. Okay. Huh.
He's been there for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's been there.
He's
How long you
been
been the
there.
mayor?
7.5 years.
Yeah, like a long time. It's kind of a long time.
Yeah.
They're acting like you just got here.
Yeah, he's
think-
been there.
I think. Look, y'all. I think Birmingham's a tough city to govern. That is
Yeah.
the honest truth.
That's why I hadn't run.
I think we're checked out more than we're checked in. I think we check in probably every 4 years, and when you govern, like every play is not a touchdown. Governing is literally a game of inches,
Okay.
especially when you're already behind. You're just
Right.
literally trying to like move forward. And there's some plays you can see that are visible in your face. People didn't see the Birmingham Promise at first. They fought it hard. They thought it was a lie. I remember 2021, like people tried to kill the Birmingham Promise. Like, bro, we just started. But it was giving jobs and it was giving scholarships. Like, how do you fight that? Now it's 5.5 years later, and I think everybody finally gets it right. It took a while. There's been other successful programs, but then there've been other things there've been other things, y'all. The play was done,
Mm-hmm.
and then the whistle was in the form of COVID.
Mm.
The whistle was in the form of a capital stack. So projects that were supposed to start, but have since hit a wall, have not been because we don't want them to happen. It's been because of significant like financial challenges post COVID.
Yeah. And we're
Um,
about to see some more with the new administration and how things are changing. I was just watching this morning, like Medicaid, and the way that I heard Medicaid described, or how the cuts will be made. They talked about young men, and they say that young men, are they able bodied and able to work? Because if they're able to work, they need to be working. They're not going to just get these free benefits anymore. I was like, kind of sound like they're talking
Man,
about
don't-
people I know. I get it to a degree, but no, I don't like how y'all talking about that.
Don't fall for that.
I don't like
what,
that.
What you've just witnessed with this quote big beautiful bill is the largest. It's just the largest upward mobile distribution wealth towards the wealthiest people at the expense of the poorest Americans.
Man, what?
Don't you got to call it what it is? A big beautiful lie. All right, it is an affront to Alabamians who will struggle in urban and rural Alabama. More hospitals will close.
Mhm.
More rural hospitals will close. Clinics and all. So all this, whatever this is, it's really a redistribution of wealth. Now, I'm not mad at people who are already wealthy winning. I just think it should not be at the expense of poor people.
Yeah, win how you win,
And I
win how
think-
you were supposed to
I
win.
think if you're going to make a bill where, in one hand, you said Doge exists to make all these cuts, but this bill still increases debt for the country, then do something for the poor people too who voted for you, because that's who actually voted for you.
Yeah. How does that trickle down to Birmingham?
Bills like that are scary. Well, how about this? We won a $43 million deal,
Mhm.
a competitive grant. We won.
Okay.
City of Birmingham, in conjunction with UAB, in conjunction with Southern Research, it's $43 million because we got a designation of a biotechnology hub.
Hmm.
Now, that's some fancy words, but that's the equivalent of what all our natural resources did to allow us to produce steel for job creation.
Okay.
This was going to create thousands of jobs around biotechnology, healthcare, et cetera. And current administration, let me thank y'all.
Yes.
I need this assist today.
Yes.
Appreciate you so much.
Administration.
Administration.
Current administration has reneged on allowing the city to receive that $43 million. So that's
We don't like that word.
one step forward, a 1,000 steps backwards.
Tell me about it.
Okay, because that goes at the heart of not just job creation, economic development. We're trying to save lives or not, and that's what the innovation biotechnology does, right? Every person in this room got a genome. Well, one of us, right, could be a part of like the research that fights, you name it, cancer, that fights diabetes, that fights something. And the technology, the innovation, the research, all of that, you need that to push and break through on how to save lives, not just produce medicine, not just produce jobs, but save lives. So I'm really struggling with understanding how not allowing us to get that money is beneficial to the advancement, not just of Birmingham and opportunity, but for saving American lives.
We don't want to save American lives. Okay. We really want to get rid of you. All right. That's what Elon said. And then he took off. Then his job was over.
Well,
He cut us with the chainsaw. Then he
didn't
reneged.
expect for his company or his shares to be as affected as they were. So once they became affected, he said, I'm going to step back.
No, you got to stick it out.
No, they're burning my cars.
Well, you should have thought about that before you jumped in politics. What's the
It's
role?
okay.
What is the role of the mayor? What's your job?
My job is the chief administrator for city government.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I explain it to people is that I walk into a middle school right now and said, tell me, we're just using this as a silly example. Show of hands, whose parents make them take out the trash? All the boys are going to raise their hand, some of the girls.
Mhm.
I respond to those group of children by saying I'm responsible for making sure that driver pulls up, that trash truck is out there. I'm responsible for city's infrastructure.
Okay.
I'm responsible for investing in public safety and an assortment of all the 3,000 plus city employees for the 28 plus departments that provide city services.
Okay.
Your business license, your city's infrastructure, your public safety, basic city services.
So like you're responsible for that, or are you responsible for the people who? What? How does that like? What do you do every day?
Every day is different. So no. These are great
Because
questions.
people, we don't know.
A lot of people don't know. So every day at City Hall is different for a mayor. One of the things I have to do is make sure all those things are moving.
Okay.
So I'm responsible for appointing the top person in each department. And I'm responsible for appointing the number 2 person. So the director or the department head and the deputy director or the deputy department head.
Okay.
And then we talk about not just vision, but priorities and strategies on how to make our services more efficient, how to have better customer service, how to be more accountable, how to remain transparent. And then back to the first thing I said, how to literally be more efficient in making these services work for people.
Okay.
So, you strip down what a government is responsible for. It really boils down to 2 things: public safety and public infrastructure.
Okay. What is infrastructure?
Sidewalks,
Hmm.
paving streets, which is why we put in $114 million in paving streets since we've been here. Folks
I'm so glad.
you hadn't gotten to my street yet. There's a lot of streets in Birmingham, y'all. And a lot of streets were not paved for years. So
Yeah.
it takes a while to catch up. But every last 3-4 years, we put in $15 million a year.
That's
The point
what's
I'm
up.
making is basic city services, city's infrastructure, public safety.
Okay. So those are
And
the
that looks different.
responsibilities.
That looks different every single day.
Okay.
Every day that's different.
What makes it different?
Because sometimes it is looking at the forest and talking about strategy and big picture.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it's literally a game of whack-a-mole. Something pop up, I got to go handle it. And then everything in between as far as how to manage city services. The truth is what we want to do, which is why I built the leadership team. I got 2 people who I say are responsible for the forest under me. And I got 2 people responsible for the trees. My chief of staff and my chief of operations, they're going to work out that game of whack-a-mole. The everyday things that need to be handled, I need you to handle. And then I need you to get in there and make sure we're moving city services. Chief accountability officer and chief strategist, more so big picture, forest, looking around the corner, strategic thinkers. What are we trying to accomplish? And what do we need to be doing to make 5-10 years from now be better for everybody?
I love that.
So it's big. It's forest and trees, what I do every day.
Forest and trees. So this is going to sound so flexy, but I'm going to say it anyway. I am working on a doctorate in leadership. So it's in leadership. And a lot of the things that I've been learning and writing these stupid papers about, I love these papers. I truly do. But yeah, this is what it talks about. So you talk about having credentials and having experience and having know how to facilitate these duties and to run these jobs and to create these processes. A lot of people, when it's time to vote, people don't know who else they're voting for. They know that they're voting for a mayor or for a president, but they don't know who they're bringing with them.
Exactly.
You might bring with you.
Some people who don't know what they're doing.
I was trying to think of who.
You trying to?
We don't have to be nice here.
Yeah, we don't have to do that
It's
at
vital,
all.
baby.
We're going to be vital.
You don't. Yeah. So campaigning and governing are not the same thing. And I think what you've seen at the federal level is a blend of the worlds where people govern like they campaign, which is why nothing gets done.
Okay.
At the local level, you actually have to govern when you're in these positions.
Correct. Budget has to be balanced.
Yeah.
And that's what the leadership is about.
Yeah,
so
I
leadership
don't-
is about building collaborations.
Yep.
It's about the understanding the finances. It's
Yes.
about understanding personalities and
Yes.
emotional intelligence. It's
Yes.
so many different skills, right? It's so many
Yeah.
different skills that you have to have, or at least have to have some knowledge of in order to be able to work with people.
Emotional intelligence is a big deal. I lead 3,000 plus people,
Mm.
and I have to be sensitive to employees' needs.
Yeah.
One of the things is always going to be their cost of living. So since I've been mayor, general service employees have received like somewhere between 15 to 17% pay increase.
Okay.
Public safety employees have received 22% pay increase since I've been mayor. Bottom line, every year, with the exception of the COVID year, I'm trying to offer cost of living adjustment increase. I'm trying to offer pay increase in the form of merit pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to, as much as I can, the last 3 years, absorb any increases in their insurance costs. That's for the employer.
Okay.
I'm trying to solve for and take care of the pension so when they retire, every day I got to be thinking about my employees on the front line who in return are literally providing the basic services.
And that's what your responsibility is, to make
It
sure
is.
that
The people who show
services
up,
are provided, but the
Yes.
people that provide those services have to be taken care of to provide the services.
police officers,
Okay.
firefighters, public works employees, the lawyers, the accountants,
That's a
name
lot
all
of
the other
work.
departments I didn't name.
No wonder you've grade that way. We get it now.
It is a lot of work.
Still look good though. Okay.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people be like, man, I'd never do that. It's gonna age you. Like you
It
look
will.
at leadership and the responsibility, and it ages you. You're concerned about everybody.
You are, and so here's where a lot of people who want this job run into a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's ambition without purpose. Ambition without purpose. You won't yield results if you are in a elected position.
Yeah.
Because you'll only be thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
So in the position I'm in, I have to have whatever ambition is, it has to be balanced with purpose, but the purpose has to be centered around the people I serve.
For sure.
I got a lot of citizens in all the generations who need help. Seniors, elders, our children, and all the adults in between. I tell you a big group I'm focused on right now, because here's a formula that has kind of held Birmingham to a point where it hasn't been healthy. And that is young black boys not in school plus unemployed black men equals higher crime.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a laser-like focus for me to literally work with the housing authority. That's where the Everyday Counts program came in. It was centered in chronic absenteeism is Achilles for not just the school system, but for the city. Young black boys not in school, what are they doing?
Right.
Right. And then you can't have a city that's 75% black where too many black men are unemployed. So we're having a heavy focus on how do we create opportunity and job employment for these young black men. In the state of Alabama in 2025, livable wage is $22 an hour. So one of the conversations we're starting to have is if the employer hire them, pay them $11 an hour, the workforce development plan, the city of Birmingham will match the $11. Anything we have to be doing though, right? So my focus can't be on one generation.
Yeah.
My focus can't be on one issue. My focus has to be multiple things and multiple generations. Now, the bottom line, I still got my bread and butter is going to be public safety and public infrastructure, but there are other things that are around that I got to do. I got to focus on workforce, job creation, supporting small business. I got to focus on education and how to support families.
So the job is vast. I have so many things to pay attention to make sure that these things are moving and working and making sense, and that these groups and this group and this group and these people are all taken care of. I'm going to say this not because I'm in the field, but because it's reality. Mental health, not because it's trendy either, because I get sick of folks. Oh yeah, mental health, that mental health. It's real life.
Yeah.
And everything that we talk about, mental health is everything. It's literally everything about us. How we eat, what we do, where we live, how we function. It's poverty. It's fluency. It's everything. So how do you see mental health in the Magic City?
I don't think as a community we've collectively had the best mental health.
And it's Birmingham, so
I
we all
think,
got PTSD.
yeah, look, we got and let me define the P. It's not past. A lot of it is present traumatic stress. That's a real thing. We don't talk about it, but I can come on Vital and talk about it. I think I don't think there's 6 degrees of separation. I think there's probably max 1 or 2, or one of us has had a friend or a family member that has been shot and survived, or shot and killed. The gun violence in our community has had a form of a real stress, and that's why we don't necessarily toot our horn, but that's why we're glad about what's happening in 2025, because we got to decrease the gun violence in this community that's had such a hole in our past. That's one. I think two. So there's been a collective grief, if you would, that I've seen up close, and I don't think that's healthy for any community. But the other thing is this: we don't support each other. We don't support each other. I said it. I'm sorry, but it needed to be said. Now I get it. I'm setting government aside. I'm just saying, as a community, we can compete, which is fine. But what I notice in successful communities, people find like tandem, like they work together, they come together, right? And they say, hey, you got this strength. Well, I got this strength. Let's put it together. But they're shooting at each other. And I'm not talking about like with an actual gun. I'm just talking about like adults in this community, like not supporting each other, being very negative, being intentionally trying to hurt somebody else, want somebody else to fail. Happy people aren't succeeding. It's like, hold on, what? What type of community do you want? What type of community do you want? And I think the best communities are those who, that's not even your lane. What are you even talking about? Like, you're not versed in that lane. You don't know what you're talking about. Stay in your lane. Set your opinion. Actually, you should hold your opinion and let these folks go over here and cook, because they're producing something that actually works.
And then like basic stuff, right? Like a block party. On my one block, we could do some type of community block party where we just get out with so let's go back to social media. You've seen on social media in certain cities and certain neighborhoods where the neighbors get together and they do like a house hop. They just set up and they go to each person's house. I will say, I'm going to say this. I don't have any stats, nothing to support this other than what I know. A lot of the people who live in the homes on the block don't know anything about the neighborhood because they're transplants.
Facts.
Yeah. So here's the deal. That's the thing. Or let me just tell y'all something. I'm going to go broad first, and then I'm going to come in. I started noticing whether it was Exit Avenue I, Arkadelphia, Porto Madrid, other exits, just be trash at the exit. So I did not ask for permission. I asked for forgiveness. I told my team, we're going to put trash bins on the exit and see if we can change human behavior. If people see the trash can right there, will they actually stop and like instead of like throwing it out their car, either hold it in their car or put it in the bin.
Yeah.
On those exits, it started working.
Okay.
So we started putting more out. Now, that's an interstate exit. You get into a neighborhood, you go into a particular block. Say a block got 10 houses in it, 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. Somebody dies in one of those homes, it's not taken care of. We tear the house down. The other 9 people should be responsible for making sure no one ever illegally dumps or litters in that empty block. Those other 9 people could take care of that empty lot faster than a government ever could, because that's what neighbors do.
Yeah.
But there's this expectation. There's an unrealistic expectation that city government with your city public tax dollars is supposed to be the only people that manage that private property. Now, we're busy trying to walk down the air or the LLC or the absentee landlord who own it. But go back to the other 9 people. Those neighbors can find that person faster than the government can.
Yeah, you would think somebody on the block been living there long enough to know whose house it is. You would think.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. But we got a real problem in pockets where nobody knows who owns it because they don't live here and they ain't never been here.
So they're transplants.
And they're rental companies.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
And how about an LLCs?
You're right.
It's a real thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so and just to give a little balance to that, and so they have no vested interest in coming to clean and coming to cut. How does the city manage those parts? That makes, because they buy it with the terms of investing and flipping, but it's taking them 5 years, right, to start their project, and it's just sitting there and it's making the street, the block look
so for the last 5 years, what we've done is we've gotten very aggressive in the blight removal. We remove the blight structure if they don't take care of it.
Okay.
The truth is there's not enough public tax dollars to cut private lots. Our public tax dollars in order are responsible for city thoroughfares, which they're over, for the main ones, there are over 70 of them. We're responsible for city parks, which there are 116 of them. We're responsible for city buildings that have city grounds, which I think is like 120 of them. All of those, and then there's other city properties that we're responsible for maintaining.
Gotcha.
The land bank is responsible for land bank properties, which is separate from the city. And then you got private lots. Private lots are literally in the category of, it can be, again, somebody, it's an heir property. The family members are fighting over it, but at the same time not taking care of the property, which is very weird to me, by the way. You had another group, absentee. Yeah. They hide behind the LLC. And then you got another group, I don't even know what category to put them in. They just refuse to take care of the property. Now, for the ones behind the LLCs, what we've started doing is taking them to civil circuit court through the nuisance abatement team. As you see, they had to handle this apartment complex. What's the one right here? Was that Warrior?
Oh yeah.
Court.
Yeah.
We were in court with them for well over a year. I personally found the owner in another state about 2 years ago. It wouldn't comply to what we asked. So we put liens on significant properties.
Like Bankhead Towers, places like that. These apartment complexes.
The next step, though, is to change the state law.
Okay.
Turns out these people, whether they're absentee, how about an LLC or not, they have the same rights and privileges as everybody, because state of Alabama has strong property, owner property rights. Whether they're slum or absentee, they have the same rights. So when they don't take care of it, city government, local government just can't come in and take it from them. Right. It's a multi-year process. We're trying to change the law to speed up the process. If we put a lien on it, and if they don't pay us back in a certain amount of time, then we can then commandeer, take that property. That's what we're working towards next. Okay. So as we cut the lot, they don't pay us back.
Right.
We come cut the lot again next year. We put another lien on it. They don't pay us back.
So what about those citizens, Mayor, that are doing that part of the work where the city doesn't have to? They're cutting the lot.
Man,
what do you say to those residents?
Thank you.
And is there a way for them to start trying to acquire what they're cutting and what they're keeping?
Before you answer, let me tell a story.
Yeah.
I have a lot on Avenue I that I pay taxes. It's just a lot now because the property was burned.
Okay.
Y'all remember this? So the property was burned, and that's where I wanted to do, it's always something. There was a plan to do some stuff on the lot. There was a vacant lot next to the lot. So the lot is this way, mine is this way, but the vacant lot is this way. After research, the lot that's vacant has been vacant over 60 years, and that's probably 10 years ago when I started asking. So at this point, 70 years it's been vacant. No house, no nothing. May have been a community garden at one point. So when I would get my lot cut, let's cut this one too. What? Yeah, like pride, but resources, no. But I'll go ahead and throw you a little something extra to go and knock that down too. Yeah, I started working with the previous administration's land bank then. That's probably 2015. It's 2025 and I still don't have the side lot. Why?
I think
Like,
part of I think the land bank gets a lot of blame for the rules the state Alabama has that they can't overcome. Look, the land bank don't want to be in the business of holding properties. I know that. I talked to Caroline. If it was up to the mayor's office, and if it was definitely up to the land bank and their board, they would like give them all out. But there's so many rules to obtaining property, clearing the title, which is its own process. When people say what you're paying for that. A lot of that is the process just to clear the title. And then what you find is people still can't figure out who owns stuff.
that may be the
So
case. But
like the state of Alabama, this is why our legislators are so important in Montgomery. Because locally we don't have we don't have home rule to speed up change and or create a process that makes it easier to obtain land for people who don't take care of it.
yeah, so we
City
gotta
of
stop saying
Birmingham,
that.
the city of Birmingham is suffering from a combination of slum and absentee landowners
Mhm.
who don't care about our community, but they get to hide behind state rules and state laws. So our point to Montgomery is like, I think we've dealt with enough disinvestment and the stressors of our community from absentee and slum slum owners. Make some exceptions for us in the urban core when people don't take care of their property. The process can be expedited, not just for the city to take it over, but speed the process so we can give it to this young lady.
Yeah.
Who
Who's
wants
gonna
to
take care of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Trust me, y'all, we don't want to be in the business of owning property. It's not what the government has any desire to do.
Right.
No desire for that. And we don't want snaggertooth neighborhoods. We don't just want to remove blight, house, empty lot, house. But that's when you talk to developers too. We need our developers to support and invest in infill housing.
Okay.
But developers don't want to do infill housing. A lot of them.
Why? Because it's not
Profitable.
return.
It's
yeah.
not profitable
Okay.
long term.
Okay.
And then they want poverty-stricken to remain to be poverty-stricken areas. So they're not just going to invest in those areas or make laws where it's okay for people to own land that really want to take care of it. So if you want to take back your community, you just take care of your community.
That's it. We look, there's some basic things we can do that are not rocket science that don't require a lot of money. One, pride is free. On your block, you don't have to worry about the city. You don't have to worry about the community. You don't have to worry about the entire neighborhood. You don't have to worry about the entire street. If you just take care of your block, everything gets better. Second thing, we got to educate our children. We educate our children. We keep our city clean. All of a sudden, everything changes.
Okay. 994-8949 is the number. 994-8949 is the number. I see you watching. Y'all watching, but you're quiet. So I guess we are covering every base we can think to cover. And one thing I love about the crew and the show and the mayor when he comes to the show is that our energy is different. I have to maintain positive energy. Like everything can't possibly be wrong.
No.
Right? Like
but
every caller can't possibly be angry.
But I'll take those. We should take those calls so we can explain. I think a lot of people don't understand how the government works.
And tonight they shall learn. And they've been learning. We've been having classes.
We've been taking them to school.
Everything about government, unfortunately, everything about government is process. There's an A through Z for everything.
And people don't like,
like
process.
26 steps. No, process is slow. It's not fast.
Yep.
There's no guarantee.
And to the naked eye, you would think nothing's going on. Where actually it's a lot going on. But who's paying attention?
We're living in a world of instant gratification.
I ain't gonna lie. There have been so many different conversations about things and how we like to see things work. We do get impatient. I've gotten impatient. Like I just told you a 10-year story. This is a decade.
Yeah.
You know, keep the side lot.
Well,
I don't want it.
not knowing the process.
No,
behind it.
no, somebody else stating another process.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, lack of knowledge.
And that's, well,
The
Lack
the
of-
leader.
Lack of knowledge.
our people
So
perish.
you have to
for-
know what
for
you're
the lack
leading,
of.
right? You have to know what you're leading, what you're speaking on, and then be prepared to share the right information or say, well, hey, this may not happen this year or in the next 4 years, but I'm gonna put you on a list. Okay, thanks.
I think Mr. Randall, Mr. Woodfin did say a lot of people are in lanes that they have no knowledge of. So just stay in this lane.
Okay.
You know,
Well, let's follow up on your land bank situation. I think 10 years is unacceptable. I think you deserve an honest answer. Even if you don't like it, you should deserve an answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, girl, you can't have it. We was just playing. I was just playing with you. Okay, cool.
That's the
I'm gonna
biggest
talk
thing I
about you.
tell people. Like, we're not gonna, we can't not. I don't know any government that pleases every citizen. But I do think we have to be in a position to be overly transparent, tackle tough issues,
the least.
and answer questions, even if people don't like the answer. Be honest with the people you serve.
Well, let's see. We got some
Let's go.
questions and comments.
Yeah, we got a few.
Carlos, he had 8 years to do something and hasn't done anything. How? But
What's Carlos' last name?
Shavers.
I
Oh.
got it. We don't have time.
Oh,
I mean,
hey, Carlos.
we just talked about so many things, though, Carlos.
No,
Okay.
well, welcome back to Birmingham. If you're in Birmingham, Carlos.
Okay.
It's vital.
All right.
It's vital.
Miss Ruby says, great show, 100% information. 100 is what we need. So it's about information. It's about making sure that you understand what government looks like, how it's supposed to go, what the strides are that are being made in the city. And so, like, in a situation where we are working through a pandemic, we work through a pandemic. The pandemic is when all the stuff happened down at Land Park with statues removed, major mass, just big stuff, hysteria. So we've seen a lot of things happening. What did it say?
19. These people had 1986 GMC pickup
Oh,
truck
put the rope around the thing.
ropes.
It
was a red truck.
Yeah, but it happened. That was progress.
Listen.
That was the beginning. That was
That was COVID.
that was process and
That was
progress
cold.
and action. We were on the air that night. I said,
Man.
y'all they down there pulling the statue down with a butter knife in a truck.
Twenty-
Let's go.
Well, I said, I'm from Anniston. I said,
24 hours. We got
Yes.
that. We got that down in 24 hours.
Yes. So
Wow.
things, just small examples. I don't even remember. I don't remember COVID. There are so many things I don't remember because I know I need to save room for things that are worth remembering. I know I need that space for that.
When people say you hadn't done it in 8 years, that's a genuine question I have back. Like, what do you want your government to do?
What do we want the government
Wow.
to
What do you
do?
What do you want your government to do outside of basic city services?
okay.
What is it that you actually want your government to do?
Okay, and so like when I asked what is the job of the mayor, you stated what that job has been, what you're responsible for doing, and then what you say in your opinion you've gone above and beyond what my basic job description is.
Oh, easily. I mean,
Okay.
Look, I think if you're going to be in this position, you're working towards a lot. You're working towards, you want to be honest. All the things you're doing in the present, you want to put a lot of your energy towards, for the next generation. Spend so much time on the education piece. There's a lot of things. So my dad just turned 73 as well. My mom will be, if I'm correct, 72 this year, September 16th.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my own parents for an example.
Okay.
Their beliefs, how they interact with their trash, who they are, they're locked in.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of changing going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to mold Birmingham in a way that works for the next generation. Where when I'm no longer mayor, they understand the basics of civic engagement.
Yeah.
They understand what being a good neighbor is. They actually want to live in the city of Birmingham. There's job opportunity in the city of Birmingham. They feel safe in the city of Birmingham. They have there's culture and a life, whether it's day or nighttime. They have opportunities. They choose to make Birmingham home. that they don't have to leave and go to a Nashville or Atlanta or New Orleans because home is where opportunity is.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on. That's what we've been working on. And hey, gotta watch what type of words I can't say.
You-
There-
You're not gonna say it
It's
again.
vital.
Those
It's
those
vital.
would be so
Now
extreme.
you've been doing good all night.
Hey, Mayor, why would you say that word? No one even says those words.
I think there are a
Randall.
significant amount of receipts of the things we've done and things we'll continue to do. And like we sleep well at night, and our conscience is very clear on the decisions we've made. So I will take any tough questions you have on any topics. Nothing's off topic, and I'm not sensitive to anything.
Here's one. I think Mayor Woodfin is doing a great job. I don't know if you all remember the TV show The Mayor, where a young man was elected mayor of a big city. He had insight, innovative, and progressive ideas that the people weren't ready for. Mayor Woodfin reminds me so much of that show from the time he was elected. That's from Miss Sandy. I saw something from Ray. Where was that? I'll read this one, then I'm gonna find Ray's comment. Oh, I see it now. We need to train these pothole voters too, that there are more than that as an issue. There are more issues than potholes in the city. That's a major one because I lost a hubcap off the van. The sunflower van is 3 hubcaps.
So let's talk about it.
One is gone.
Let's talk about street paving. If anybody's following what we've been doing around street paving, when you include this proposed budget, it's literally $114 million we invested in streets. 15 million gets you about 72 miles worth of roads paved. We break that down. You go on the city's website now, birminghaml.gov. You can see the streets we'll pave in 2025. I think out of 99 neighborhoods, it touches close to 1/3 of them this year. Touched a different 1/3 last year. And it goes every year. It's we paving streets and neighborhoods. So folks say, yeah, done it in my neighborhood. There's not a neighborhood you can't go to where a street hasn't been paved. Over about 66 neighborhoods with major blight, there's not one of them you can go to where a blighted structure hasn't been removed, because we remove like 2,000 plus of them. But they still pop up every day when someone dies and family don't take care of it, or the absentee owner doesn't take care of it, another one just pops up.
Yeah.
Every time we tear one down, another one pops up. Trust me, you don't want to be in the business of only tearing down houses.
Right. Look, I want to ask about the roads.
Yeah.
Because this is a real issue for over here in Ansley and especially going down 3rd Avenue. And even inside of some of the communities.
I'm pulling up the streets we're going to be paving this year.
How does the code enforcement to the utility companies work? Because what I've noticed, even on my street particularly, once the water pipes were put in, the roads were paved. But then some company comes in and makes a cut back from what that smooth pavement looks like, but they don't put it back to what it was. And so now you got this huge hump that eventually turns into a hole.
I've directed.
And so what's the plan for that?
So the first thing is this year, before we submitted the list publicly on the streets we were paving, we gave the utility companies 2 weeks to respond back to us and say, hey, do you plan to make any cuts or any work on these streets? Please submit your answer within 2 weeks before we submit publicly the streets we're paving, because we need alignment. If you Spire, if you Waterworks, and any of these other companies, don't let us do this work, beautify, make the street smooth, and you come back and cut it up. And then if you cut it up, you're supposed to give us notice because we issue a warrant. But a lot of times there's emergency issues.
That's what I was just
going to
say. Yeah.
It's like some camera. I know the company too.
And then this is what we find. It's everybody holding everybody accountable.
Mm-hmm.
We got to hold utility accountable. And utility honestly needs to hold the subcontractor accountable, because the utility company's not doing it.
Correct.
They're paying a contractor.
Correct. And
these contractors, whether it's First, whether it's Third, some of these neighborhood streets, I still walk the streets. Man, I'm like, bro, they killing us.
Yes.
So I ordered probably about 3 weeks ago. My legal department capital projects and the Department of Transportation to all come up with a letter reminding utility companies of the code that already exists under municipal ordinance that they are responsible for making it back right. And if they don't, we're going to either send cease and desist letters or we're going to not give them any more permits to do work until they make our streets whole or hold their subcontractor whole. It's a really great question.
I want to talk about, you talked about accountability. I heard a story not too long ago about City Walk and whose responsibility is City Walk.
State of Alabama. State of
They need to call
Alabama.
it State Walk.
State of Alabama. The city of Birmingham don't own it. We don't manage it. It is not our responsibility. I want to be very clear. Everybody remember you used to be able to park under the interstate before that.
Yeah.
Anything on the interstate, on top of it, which includes those lights, state responsibility.
Okay.
Anything under it is state property. All of City Walk is 100% the state of Alabama's property. It is on state property. The state is responsible. They have an MOU with the BJCC to manage the property, but they're supposed to reimburse the BJCC.
We know people don't like to give money back after service is done. I owe you. They pay you back.
The state of Alabama should be treating City Walk the same way they treat a visitor center on 65, 22, or 20. It's the same thing. It's a very nice visitor center.
Yeah.
But it's state property.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Not us. It's not ours. It's not the city of Birmingham's responsibility. It's not your tax. It's not your local tax dollars responsibility.
Okay.
That's not city staff that work there, anything like that.
So we hadn't funded City Walk.
Oh no, we've given them some money.
Okay.
They say their maintenance is like $2 million. We're giving them like $200,000. I think we got an ADECA grant this year for $200,000 or $250,000. That'll be our support towards the project, but ultimately the state is responsible.
Okay.
We're friendly. We're a friendly neighbor.
So, and then you think about when the citizens in the city, like I say, I'm from Birmingham. I'm not from Alabama first. I'm from Birmingham first. So when that comes up, I would want to say, City Walk, that this is somewhere that anything that's in Birmingham to me is Birmingham's. Even I don't, like as a citizen, we don't think about who's paying for it. We just think about it's Birmingham's. So when people have questions or thoughts about those things, I do like to hear the answers. Another question: what are you going to do about the landscaping and grass cutting around the interstate exits?
Nothing.
It's not our responsibility either.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Let me tell you. I'm sorry. Let me answer the question. Tell you what I'm going to do.
I'll look sleep in here. We just saying. We just getting it to you.
I'm going to call the East Division of the Alabama Department of Transportation. I'm going to call them. I'm going to email them. I'm going to text them about their exits. I'm going to text them about the homeless encampments under the interstate. I'm going to call them about the litter and trash on interstate exits. Can you please take care of your property? That's what I'm going to do. Oh, by the way, your lights are out. Can you please fix them? The lights, the trash, the litter, the homeless encampments, all on the interstate, is the state of Alabama's responsibility.
Okay.
So
yeah,
to the ones that are under those overpasses,
call the state trooper.
Talking about under like City Walk, those lights belong to the state as well.
Well, no, the interstate. I'm specifically look like downtown, maybe 4th Avenue.
On the interstate or on the street?
So they're under there. Yeah, like under the freeway part. Like, they got a whole tent community under there.
Oh,
that's state of Alabama. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. East Division need to definitely come take care of that. They're supposed to give us a schedule, a maintenance schedule that they're supposed to handle their business. No, what you're hearing is it's frustrating. I get blamed for
it's not on me.
I get blamed for a lot of stuff that's like not my responsibility. Anything my responsibility, I would never lie to any of you. I'll look you in your eyes and tell you either we're behind, we haven't lived up to it, but we'll get to it. I'll give you an example. May had 31 days in it. Swear to y'all, it rained like 20 of them. It rained 20 of them. This was the wettest May we've had. I think the third or fourth wettest May we've had since we've been in the city. You know what that means? For all of our city properties, we're behind. Parks, well behind. Land bank, behind. So I got a senior that lives here, and it's a empty lot owned by a private owner. We got $2.75 million currently in the budget, and that's going up to $3 million for private empty lots. But it's only so many you can get to with $3 million. If that makes any sense. Point I'm making is the things that are our responsibility, they're at the top of the list. That's what we prioritize. But I cannot prioritize interstate exit grass over a city park because that interstate exit is not the city's responsibility.
Gotcha. And you're answering, Ray, you're right on time with your thoughts too. Just keeping it all in line. He said parks was my next question. So alumni weeks, I just want to ask this question. Go ahead and get out there. Is the city looking to move? And when I say the city, park and recs or whoever, looking to move all alumni weeks to Legion Field?
I don't know. You're the second person that has brought this up to me.
Yeah.
Today is Sunday. Came up Friday.
Oh, because
and
it's about to jump
my
off.
answer is the same. That's not something that the mayor's office pushing. Now everybody needs to know. Again, this is one of those things how people understand how the government works. Park and Rec has an actual park and recreation board.
Yeah, a whole nother something.
It's a board that hires the executive director. So the board hires Shanae Bennett, not the mayor. They appointed her. Shanae works with me, but they appoint her. They are responsible for the operations, the day-to-day, the decisions that go on in parks. That doesn't flow from the mayor's office. The point I'm making is if there's conversation around alumni events at parks, I'm not in them, so I don't have any detail for you or any information to give, period. Detail or not detail.
All right. We're getting down to the fast five, about 5 or so minutes left. So, I mean, we are talking about.
Give me another question.
Seriously, let's see what we got.
What's on the
What up, Chris? Thank you for tuning in and for checking us out. Sandy said thank you for the clarification. Questions? I don't see any other questions. Okay.
No, just
y'all got any questions? Any questions you have? No topics off limits. Yes.
Our beautiful intern is in the building.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I feel like through life, a lot of people question like what their purpose is or like how to go about fulfilling it. Have you always wondered what your purpose was, or like have you always known that this was something that you wanted to do? What was that like growing up for you?
Be on it.
So nobody was in politics when I grew up. No, I'm the first person in my family in politics. But I'm not the first person in my family in public service. So nobody was elected, but they were very servant oriented.
Yeah.
It crystallized for me when I got to college at Morehouse. I'll never forget it. It was probably my junior year, summer going into my senior year. I knew I wanted to be mayor of my hometown. I said it in a national publication, summer 2002, and then became the mayor 15 years later.
Wow.
Sometimes it takes 15 years.
It wasn't though, but that was one of those clear things to me, even at a young age of 21, and then becoming mayor at 36. When I say ambition needs to be balanced with purpose, things get crystal clear. If it's purpose with no plan, you're not going nowhere.
Right.
If it's raw ambition with no purpose, you're doomed for failure.
Thank you.
You want to be the mayor? You feeling like running? You getting a little ambitious over there?
I think I'll leave it to them, but I'm still intrigued. Thank you for everything that you do.
No, thank you. But I'm gonna tell y'all, we we're living in a time where a lot of people don't trust government. And I know why. It's people move different. You really need people in these positions who care about people. And you have to. If you have an elected official that doesn't have empathy, you need to be scared of that elected official.
And we see that. We see that on a large scale.
Because they're selfish. They don't have vision for the people. They're not going to have a sense of urgency to fight for and or advocate for better things and quality of life for the people they represent. Every decision to be self-centered and selfish. Very easy. Very easy to see.
And that's not the objective of the role.
No. The objective of this role every day, when I say a game of inches, and every decision you make, can you and will it improve the quality of life of the people you represent? That is the frame. Right? Does Birmingham promise improve outcomes for the next generation? The answer is easily yes. Does removing this blighted house here at minimum stabilize that block? The answer is yes. You stabilize that block, does it improve the quality of life for the other residents who live in that block? The answer is yes. Every decision we make is through the lens of, does it improve quality of life?
So with that being the question asked, that's the question that I feel like we should be able to ask ourselves and always be able to give an honest answer on. And if we feel that it doesn't, that's when you reach out.
Do it or don't do it.
Yeah, like, no, so that doesn't do that. So can I call the mayor and say, hey, I know you said basic services were this, and that. You know, I live like right there by the precinct and nobody was able to come and help me or something like that. Like, is that one of those things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And my response to that is, look, the current police class has 50 recruits in it. Largest class probably in close to 15 years. We just did a thing where they purchasing 75 more police vehicles, and then we're about to do another purchase probably, or attempt to do another purchase for the year out, another 75. So hiring more police, having more police cruisers, period. We want to, our police current stat is at 80% occupied.
Okay.
We want to get it back to 100%.
All right. Wendy, you got the last question.
Okay, so every mayor for the city of Birmingham has been known for what they've done for the city. What do you want your legacy to be as the mayor of Birmingham? What do you want to be most known for?
It's a good final question.
It's really a good question. That every decision I made for the next and youngest generation changed Birmingham for the better. That each young person who walked across the stage at Birmingham City Schools, whatever choice they wanted to make for their future, the mayor's office leaned all the way in and created an opportunity. That for any parent who births a child in our city and lives within our city, that child's foundational years, birth to 5, will have a solid foundation before they enter our school system. And that while they're in our school system, while the school system is responsible for their core curriculum and their academic curriculum, that the city of Birmingham and the mayor's office takes care of the whole child, whether it's all the wraparound pieces that include their mental health, their social, their conflict resolution, financial literacy, and so many other life skills our children need. I want to be known for literally doing everything I can to educate and help our children.
Children are the future.
I believe the
Okay.
children. So with the children, you never want to neglect the elders and all of those in between, because I'm not a child anymore. But when I was a child, I did childish things. When I became a woman, I put away childish things, all the other stuff that the book says. What about everybody in between, those that are the elders? We don't want them to be left out of how Birmingham moves forward. What does that look like?
So this third term looks like reimagining our public spaces, our parks, our recreation centers, our libraries, etc. I'm going to use Inslee for an example. Everything that exists in Inslee, whether it's Inslee High School, Jackson Olin High School, East Inslee Library, McAlpine Rec Center, Inslee Rec Center and Inslee Park and McAlpine Park are all based on racism. But now you have a decreased population in Inslee footprint. And my thinking is very simple. I'm not afraid to say this publicly. We just got to walk it out, and we will walk it out. I've told Shanae this. What I have imagined is Inslee Rec Center. You take the interior of that building down to the studs, and you make it a senior facility. All social programs for our seniors and elders in the Inslee footprint. And then you make McAlpine Rec Center holistic for young people and youth. You do the same things to the parks and then the 2 libraries. You that empty lot in front of the Cotton Building, you put 1 new library right there. So when I think of my seniors, I'm thinking about in place, right? Place making. They're not going anywhere. Well, in our communities, can we reimagine some of our recreation centers and some of our other public facilities that support an activity and programming for our elders?
I love it. So nobody's left out of what's happening in Birmingham. This is a very current, mindful conversation that you have been a part of tonight. Hopefully you learned a lot. You were able to vent your frustrations if there were any, but this was a check-in, a checkup. And I think that I'm feeling good about what I've heard and what I've been seeing in Birmingham. I ain't moved yet. Baby, I'm trying to get to New York so bad.
We don't leave. We improve.
Don't move.
We don't.
That's it.
We don't die. We multiply.
No, that's it though. That's it. Your city, everybody can't leave.
Okay, so I gotta stay.
We don't fight. We don't fight for Birmingham.
Okay.
We need to fight more for Birmingham. If we need to keep our expectations high for our school system, for our communities and our neighborhoods. The moment you lower your expectations is the moment those neighborhoods and those schools lose.
Oh, perfect closing. You all can get more of this show some other time. Come back next Sunday. Next Sunday, probably 7, we'll be here. Y'all be great. Have a vital week. I'll chat with you tomorrow in Lady Wu's Midday Fun Shui at noon. Thank you so much. We got to find you some dinner or something. We're going to look out for you. Y'all be good. Bye.
Look, I know it's been a long time. I didn't realize it was 2 hours.
So we talk so much.
Hold on. Bye, y'all.